Stop trying to go high ground and you'll stop throwing games. The best way to win Noah for the last 1 to 2 years has been war of attrition. High-rated clubs have adopted the strategy, but low-rated clubs have not. So, if you can do this in your games, you will be doing something very, very important that nobody does all the way up until high moral practice, which is incredibly painful. That is, every single game, scream at your team to stand in the goddamn enemy triangle and wait for the enemies to engage their basic animalistic instincts, get bored, desperately want to hit creeps to hear that cha-ching sound, and then they'll walk up to you and feed you. Okay, so now that we all agree that holding the enemy triangle is by far the most effective way to turn a lead into a win, let's take a look at exactly how to do it. Step 1, purchase a smoke deceit and observer ward and a sentry. Step 2, press smoke and go murder somebody. Whenever somebody dies, this will put the enemy team into a defense mode. And this is exactly what you're going to abuse to make the enemy team run away from their triangle instead of killing you the moment that you walk up. Step 3, make your way to their triangle immediately after you get the kill. It's very important that in these moments, you do not hit a single jungle camp. This is exactly what pros need when they refer to people playing fast Dota. You don't have a huge window of time where the enemy team is in this defense mode, just because death timers aren't that long, and it's also a long walk to the enemy triangle. So one jungle camp can often be the difference between making it there before they're alive and not. Step 4, place your observer and sentry wards on a high ground and get as many heroes as possible to stand on the high grounds, waiting for the enemy team to walk up. During this time, you want some of your people to be jungling in the nearby area because, of course, you don't want to just be doing this without farming, with some other people just waiting patiently for the enemy team to walk up and die. You can also have some fast hero flying far away from where you are, and of course, you're going to get more farm that way. But this is usually the job for a hero like Pain, Ember Spirit, or Storm Spirit, because these heroes can quickly make their way to a fight if it does arise. Step 5, and I cannot stress how absolutely crucial this step is, since this is basically the only reason that this strategy has dominated the game. You need to have 2 heroes aggroing the middle and side lane wave adjacent to the jungle. One of the biggest mistakes that I see in low-rated pubs is that they have the opportunity to take over the enemy triangle, but they don't, because somebody TPs away to deal with a creep wave that is in front of their base. This is old-fashioned. If you do this, you are a Dota group. Do not be a boomer. Cut the waves properly and wait for the creeps to eventually make their way to the enemy base while you are still holding that triangle. The glory of this strategy, among other glories, is that if you're cutting 2 lanes of creeps, then it means that the enemy team can only be split pushing in 1 lane. And that's just not a threat, because 2 towers for 1 tower or 2 lanes of racks for 1 lane of racks is never a good trade. The final the most fun step in strategy is that you need to condition the enemy team psychologically to be scared and to not leave their base. You cannot just sit in the triangle, twiddling your thumbs if they disrespect you and walk into their own jungle to farm. You have to kill them. Remember how the first step of this strategy is to kill an enemy hero? Well, that's because step 6 is just step 1. Taking over the enemy triangle is a cycle, and this is exactly how high-level Dota is played currently. If the enemy team leaves their base, you have to smoke to kill them, or you do some creative TP with a YanKeen DRV, and you set up to kill the enemy team. Then you use that. Timer to make your way, back to their triangle, and the cycle repeats. You rinse and repeat this until you have a massive gold lead, and leaving the base gets harder and harder for the enemy team. And this, my friends, is exactly why split pushing as a central strategy is long dead. Against this triangle taking, creep cutting, or defending strategy, split pushing will not exert any serious amount of pressure, and it will just lead to you slowly but surely getting starved until you die a very slow, very painful death.
Okay, YanKeen, can you hear me?
Hello?
Okay, yes. Okay, but my headset. Okay, as usual, YanKeen, while setting up, please give me updates.
Yeah, okay. So, since Tuesday we had, they just check. Give me a moment. Let's see. Okay, we did we did a chem lecture on nitrogen compounds.
Okay.
I think it's just amines. We didn't go to amides.
Right. Mm-hmm.
And
Let's
then
stop
we
there
had,
first. Let's stop there first. Did you prepare for the lecture?
I read through paper. I read through like the section, like a bit of
Good.
it.
Good. Did you take note of your questions?
Some of them like quaternary, like sort of quaternary nitrogen compound, like I can have four hands.
The one with the plus lah, because
Yeah.
that's the only way lah, right? Okay, right. Did the question get answered in the lecture?
I mean, he just said they can. I mean,
right. I'm glad that you prepared for it. Yeah. Okay. Then I am having an impression that the chapter is not as complicated as the previous ones lah.
as carboxylic. Maybe
No. Carboxylic also not complicated. Yeah, hydroxy and carbonyl.
On account of there being no mechanism, maybe. But I'm not too sure yet.
Okay, sure thing. We'll find out when tutorial comes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Anyways, so we did, speak of tutorial, we did a tutorial. We finished up hydroxy. Yeah, we finished up hydroxy tutorial.
Whoa, okay, right. Now we finish it. Right, okay, right.
And then we went into carbonyl.
Right.
I'm pretty sure we'll continue carbonyl tomorrow.
Right.
But I'm not sure if we'll finish it by tomorrow. My teacher says she wants to finish it, but honestly, at the rate we're going, I don't think I'm going to.
Of course, and it's good. It's not good to go fast, yeah. For these two chapters, especially lah. It's not good. So I suppose that's fine lah, right? Did your tutorial questions get answered?
Chem wise, we haven't reached that. No, we haven't reached that part yet. No, the questions are like much later. So only like for carbonyl at least. Hydroxy, not really. Anyways, yeah. So that's about it.
Not really. Okay, understood. Okay, understand. Okay, that's chemistry. I don't sense that you need to change anything. I think the way you study right now is great, so to speak.
Not yet. So yeah.
Good. All right.
I started distinct random variables tutorial.
You started the tutorial. Okay, wow.
Yeah, the tutorial will be going through next week, so might as well start now, right?
Good.
But I am not too sure about my basics because I got started.
Right. We can definitely ask that. So just want to ask the physics quickly. Any updates?
No, there's been no physics since Tuesday.
Understand. Okay. All right. Let's do our math first. Okay. We're using the same Jamboard, right? Okay. There you go. Okay. Copying that. Then, as you notice, most statistics questions, I suppose, except PNC, except PNC, are rather long. Sometimes PNC can be long. So, and okay, let me go to YanKeen. You can show me the working, yeah.
Yeah. The question.
The question is that.
Okay. This is my working so far.
So the Jamboard is at page 8, yeah. Okay. All right. Okay, this one. Okay, let's start. So it looks like you did some sort of table lah, for all the possibilities lah, right? That's the best. That's the most concrete way to imagine DRV lah, discrete random variable. That's your discrete and everything. But
I'm not sure how to put in
okay.
P and Q.
Wait, disk. Okay. A die. Okay, I gotta spend time understanding the disk and the die first. It's annoying when they don't give me the pictures lah, because I find pictures to be helping me more. So I have to understand it. Oh my goodness, the disk is like a coin.
Yeah.
Yeah, the disk is a two-sided dot. Okay, no, spend a lot of time understanding that, but I need that. Like, if you can understand it faster than me while reading, that means again your reading comprehension is strong, which is always useful, right? So either 1 and 2 and 1, 2, 3, 4 lah, right? The score. Now this score is the score of the die or the score of the?
And the score of the die and twice the number of dots on the disk.
No, like I mean the third sentence. The third sentence is very confusing to me. The probability of getting a score of 1, 2, 3, and 4. That's obviously only the die, the tetrahedral die. And he's asking you P and Q. So I'm very confused that, oh, the tetrahedral die is not one. Oh, I get it. Yeah, I get it. So the tetrahedral die is not a fair die lah. It's an unfair die. The possibility of getting 1, 2, 3, and 4 is different from each other lah. That's what I'm getting here now. That's reading comprehension and a lot of confusion beforehand. Really, I was very confused before this while reading it. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, and the S is the twice the number of dot lah. So yeah, I guess I agree with. Well, how come 4 and 4 is 10? Sorry.
Yeah, that was my mistake.
Okay. I think the top one you have to correct everything, right? 3, 4, 5, 6 lah, right?
10, 2, 4, 6. 2, 2 is 4. Yeah, 3, 2 is 5. Yeah, because this was supposed to represent a disk, and this was supposed to represent a die.
Yep. Now about the probability of getting a score of 1, 2, 3, 4, and the fact that it's not fair. At least that's my strong assumption right now. So that we know, are you understanding it that way also, or you're understanding it differently?
I honestly I thought it was fair because I've only ever seen fair die.
You assume if it's a fair die, then it will be 1 quarter, 1 quarter, 1 quarter, and 1 quarter. That throws me off just now lah. Right. So I would say that your reading comprehension is now worse than mine if my assumption is correct lah. If my assumption is correct, but I think my assumption is founded lah. It's just that maybe you don't have much experience in unfair, like they call it weighted lah. They weighted lah. Certain things are easier to get than the other. Okay. So I suppose that's one reason why this question is seemingly harder lah than maybe your lecture though. So okay, at least if you feel free to not use the assumption, but I will be using the assumption, right? I'll be using assumption that the die is not fair. Okay, so first we try to find PS equals to 6, right? PS equals to 6, and 6 is only achievable by 2, 4 or 4, 2 lah, right? Is the disk fair. My goodness. I am currently assuming that this is fair. I'm currently assuming that.
Yeah.
I'm currently assuming this is fair. And then they tell us about the probability of getting 1 and 3. They don't tell us about the probability of getting 2 and 4, right? So initially that might be very confusing, I suppose, right? Initially. But I suppose we can take a shortcut here and just say the probability of getting 2 and 4 together. The probability of getting 2 and 4, if you sum them up together, is obviously 3 over 5. I suppose.
Yeah.
Okay. So I'm not sure whether that's going to help us, but that's all we have right now. Okay, that's all we have right now. And I don't think I can divide it by 2 also. I also cannot divide by 2. So in this situation, I feel a bit uncomfortable. Let's say this exam, right? First, I have to assume that this is fair. Oh, no, I'm sorry. They tell us. They tell us that this is unbiased. I'm sorry. They tell us. I forgot to read that part. So this is fair. So it's half-half. It's half-half, right?
Okay.
But the die is implied to not be fair, right? So if I'm not very comfortable with 1, I will actually just go to 2 first, because then I can find my P and Q and I just mentally feel more comfortable, right? If that makes sense to you.
Okay.
Right? So I manage my feelings, I suppose, by doing that. This is the way, I skipped the first part because the first part is harder. I'll do the second one if it is possible. I think in this question, I think it's possible. So he's saying now 4, right? So 4 is which one? 4 is only 1, right?
4 is only 1.
Which is very helpful, right? So 1 over 6, right? So 1 over 6 means the die for 2 is already half, right?
Die for 2 is already half, yeah.
Right, that's half. And then I have to times something, which is from the 2 of the, I'm sorry, the disk of the 2 from the disk is half, right? So half times something becomes 1 over 6. Suddenly I have the probability of the 2 from the die, right?
Oh boy. Okay. Yeah, okay, I can follow.
Slowly, please. Yeah, slowly. Right? So obviously this guy is 2 over 3, 1 over 3. So we got that. We got P. We got P because of that.
So P 1/6. So the probability
is equals to half times P, right? That's how to do it. And then we get the P, and then we can get the Q quite easily.
Wait, what? Half P is 1/6, so P is 1/3. And then Q is Q equals 1 minus 1 minus 1. Okay. For 15.
Now, personally, I hate the assumption part. You know, the assumption was made, right? That the die is unfair, but the question seems to imply that. So at least I feel slight comfort. But since this is a tutorial, what I will do is I will check my answer key from part 2 first.
You sure? Okay.
Right. Just to make sure that we are not wasting time, because this is tutorial, we don't want to waste time.
It's 1/3 and 4/15.
Okay, then the assumption was correct. Now I think that's more important than the working itself. The fact that we have to do that, I suppose, even though the question does imply that. Are you okay with that part?
Sure, I guess. I don't mind.
Okay. So accept that, please, in the sense that it will happen in exam. This is part of what they expect us to be able to understand. Right? Okay. Now, I was telling you that I was managing my discomfort by doing part 2, and I said the answer key, part 2 is correct. So my way of thinking must be somehow correct. So I'm glad for that. Now, having P and Q, I choose to apply that to part 1 first. So part 1 seems to imply that you don't need P and Q. I don't want. I want to use my P and Q and then try to figure out why I don't need them in the first place. That's how I will approach part 1. Make sense?
I'll try in pencil.
Sure, but I will suggest that you try with the P and Q first, before trying How can I do this without P and Q? Okay, so give it a try.
Okay, so the probability is uneven. That means probability of 3 is not 1/8. It is.
Why are you doing 3? Sorry. Cutting to chase.
I
Why
need
are you
to
doing 3?
name all of them, right?
No, you don't have to do what you did here. You don't have to.
Or just 6.
You just direct. No, don't use this. This is very bad. What you do on the left is very bad. It's totally wrong. Why are you relying on the left when you have your right? That part I never understand.
Oh, because the questions in front have both, like, where they just
Wait,
taught me.
wait. You don't get that your left, which is usually good for normal stuff, is totally wrong here. You don't get that.
I mean, I'm changing it now, right? So
No, go straight to the point, please. Please don't change everything. Please just go straight to the point. I want to see whether you can go straight to the point. You need the 6 and you refer to the table on the right, not the guy on the left, please.
Okay. So probability of 4 is 4/15.
Yeah. And then
Times half.
Go ahead.
4,
And then
plus 4/15 times half plus 2 is 1/3 times half. 4/15 times half plus 1/3 half. 3 or 10.
Right. Now, obviously, they want the 3 of 10 without us knowing P and Q, right?
Mm-hmm.
So again, not to waste time, please check first whether 3 and 10 is correct or not.
It is correct.
So your thinking must be somehow correct with the additional information of P and Q. Now, your challenge is to not use 4/15 and 1/3 but to simply use P and Q, I suppose. Yeah.
Okay.
And see whether we can still get 3/10 on. If we can, then we figure it out. Look.
Should I?
Should you just replace the thing with P and the thing to Q? At least that's a start, right?
Replace that.
You don't have 4/15. You don't have 1/3.
But I have all the other numbers.
No,
all their probabilities.
Just replace them with P and Q. I suppose that's what we have, right?
This?
No, you don't have 4/15, but it's Q. You don't have 1/3. Well, it's P, or let's use that, I suppose. No, you don't have to erase stuff. You don't have to erase stuff. There's no need to erase stuff. There's no need. There's no value in erasing stuff. There's no value in erasing stuff. There is none. There's no value in erasing stuff in exam and in tutorial. There is none. You are actually erasing value. Right? I'll try to do this and see whether we can. Can we do something about this?
I mean, half P and half P plus Q.
Yeah, go ahead if you can do something.
And obviously, I know P plus Q as 1 minus 2/5.
All right.
So half 3/5. Huh.
Okay. So did you learn something? Your video cut off.
Oh, my bad. Pop up. Yeah.
Right. Okay. Landscape, please.
All right.
Right. Did you learn something?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay. Right. So please don't erase your pencil. Right. There is no value in erasing them. You're actually erasing a comparison. That means it's bad, right? Okay.
Okay.
Right. So this is a slightly different way of approaching a question in tutorial, which I must admit is challenging, and therefore I can learn something. You can learn something, right? Yeah. Okay. Keep that in mind. The way you do tutorial is to learn something, not to finish the tutorial. For goodness sake, that's not the point. Right. So part 3. Can I leave you with part 3? Part 3 is what you're supposed to do at the start. Those things. Yeah. Which is if you do it first, you are totally wrong. Realize this is probably the best learning possibility. Doing that at first, means you're following a format, means you're assuming a lot of things that turns out to be wrong. It's really, 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 really wrong in a sense that you don't even realize 6 can come from 2 things. Why? Because the thing on the right is better than the thing on the left. The thing on the left is just bonkers and wrong. In fact, I don't think you will find any 1/8 at all. I think all of them is not 1/8. I think you're gonna check it out later. Okay, that's the easiest part.
Right. Okay.
I hope that's the best learning that you can get out of this question. This question turns out to be very good for learning. Like doing that first, you're assuming a lot of things, and that's probably not going to happen in exam. Right? Next question.
Right. Okay. So that's about where I got for DRV. I was going to continue like after
Please
this.
do. Please do. I mean, in the sense that I think this is a lot of learning, but I wish to go through you one with expected value first. At least we go through that. Just choose one new question, which obviously have to rely on some sort of expected value, because that's important lah. That's important.
So EX, right?
Okay, show me. Yeah.
That means I think that one already.
Right. So not that.
I guess.
So
Question 3. Question 3. Question 4.
No mind. Every question can have an expected value, but I want a very clear one. Oh, maybe this one. Oh no, this is standard because they're trying. No, never mind. Let's do this. Let's do part 4. No, okay. Let's do part 4. Right? Yeah, because then we can check your basics lah. To part 4, and then I think you can continue from there. I believe from there on they will involve expected value lah. Right. So we're doing it together. Again, reading comprehension is important. Please make sure that you comprehend first.
Standing randomly next to the other people. Okay, the random variable x. So it means it's 1, 2, or 3, but they have different probabilities. Either so.
I think you need to notice that this thing doesn't start with DRV. Obviously, the DRV is there. That's obvious. I feel that this thing starts from either PNC kind of feeling or probability kind of feeling, whichever it is. I feel it starts more like that in terms of how to even understand the question.
Oh boy. So it's probably PNC. And
Let me put it another way. If you start with in between 1, 2, 3, first of all, you forget that there's a possibility of 0, which bothers me a lot. It really bothers me a lot. That means you're just not thinking. Yeah, then Alex and his friend, then 0.
I guess that's
Let's stop there. Now, if you expect DRV to just be, applying simple stuff, then forget about it lah. I think you are like starting. You're starting like very similarly to question 2 just now. You start with certain assumptions that I can write that easily. I think writing that thing is very hard. I have that sense already lah. Writing is very hard, and they will make it not easy for you lah. I feel you should have started more like your table on the right. It feels more like that. That's the way of thinking, which is better. You don't want to start with left, assuming that it is easy to draw. That's bad assumption. I think you need to start to think more like the one on the right.
How would I construct the one on the right?
Yes. How would you construct the case? How would you construct the case? I have an idea, but you need to come up with your own idea.
So I need Alex and his friend, but what the? How can I? How does that? I. Okay. Right. Okay.
I'll give you a
Oh,
clue. I'll give you a clue. I'll give you a clue based on what you did in PNC, especially when PNC is hard. Now, you know that PNC can be hard, can be easy, can be hard, I suppose, right? When PNC is easy, you already have enough experience to just do it. That means you're imagining in your head, right? When PNC is hard, sometimes I'll say you forget about it, but sometimes I'll say, I think you can do it. And one of the first few steps to do hard PNC is to do, well, something that you keep not doing. I notice that you don't do this when things are hard. I notice that you simply keep it in your mind, just like chemistry. And that is your biggest mistake. I see that your feeling you haven't naturally shift your feeling. Oh, this is hard. I'm supposed to do this, not think about it.
so
in chemistry, what did you do to make your brain flows, right?
I just write it down. I mean,
write things down, and then you still keep not doing this. You still don't draw. You don't. In chemistry, you just don't draw. You just don't do it. At least not yesterday, but you start to write stuff. I like it. So here, just like PNC hard, you either write things or you draw or you do both to help you think. If you cannot do that, we will skip this question. I'll assume that you cannot overcome your sense. But there you go. You're starting to overcome it already. There you go. You're starting to draw something, making use of what you already know. Good.
5 slots.
All right.
So
that's fine. Cool.
assuming there's no restrictions, I can place them anywhere. If I want to use probability, then I have to find the case where there's no restrictions first. So that's 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Sure, why not? Let's write down. So okay. Right. Now for the case.
Yeah. So you have to apply it to your case. Your case is this. So how would you see it?
Sure, 2 people in between them, right?
Sorry, there what?
There are 2 people. So I need to find the case where there are 2 people in between them.
Trust me, you're not ready to do part 1.
Oh,
Trust
what?
me. Well, I suppose you can do part 1. I suppose you can jump part 1. Maybe I was wrong. Maybe you can. If you draw, you're not drawing. You're just thinking about it. You're just spending 5 minutes thinking about it. You're not drawing anything. If you're not going to draw anything to help yourself, skip this question in exam and in tutorial. Waste of your time. Yeah, let's see. When you draw, you start you're going to commit your whole life saving. But after you draw, you feel better. At least that's what I see.
I see. The position does matter, right? So
I think the position does matter. It's a different possibility, so I think the position matters. So again, you're just thinking about it. All right, at least you're doing something. Okay.
no, that's no.
Why are you doing this? Sorry, I thought you're focusing on two in between. I thought.
Yeah, my bad.
Right. Yeah. So you will autocorrect. Good. You see, you autocorrect. You are not a fool that way. You autocorrect. You're good. Right? Keep doing it.
So there are only 2 cases where
I whack you. Your
2
PNC
people
sucks. I whack you. Your PNC sucks.
What?
I whack you. Your PNC really sucks. I'm serious. Your PNC really sucks.
Okay, it does, but what? I thought
Like a PNC is supposed to train you to imagine all the possible cases. Not very easy to do, but that's what they are training you. You imagine that there are only two cases. Like, oh my goodness, seriously, like
What?
seriously, come
Is
on.
it what friend Alex and
And I did teach you, right? If it is F and A, you gotta know whether it matters or it doesn't matter. Are they different or not? That's the question. Right?
yeah,
So
they're different.
yeah, and we keep coming back to that thing. Okay, I have to make sure, is this different or not different according to the question? According to the question, you think it's different, then you better put it in lah. If the according to the question is not different, then you better not put it in, right? So
Yeah, it's probably different. Yeah, it is. Because they're okay. All right, what else am I missing? Am I missing anything?
that is the thing that you're trying to ask yourself every time in PNC, including here lah. This has the PNC, and you cannot be certain, but for goodness sake, I think you forgetting it just now means you're not using your experience. That's why it's inside you, it's inside. So please use it. Right now, please take some comfort and peace in seeing that part one, they give you the answer key. Do you understand or not? They give you the answer key. So take some comfort in that and do something lah, because you can always autocorrect based on the answer key.
Right.
So if you're not going to do something, we're going to skip this question again. Same thing lah. Don't waste your time.
So the different cases, how do I construct them now? Oh boy.
You mean you're not using your PNC skill, really?
I need to revise them.
Like probability, the probability is not DRV, right? Probability is probability lah. So the probability of having two person in between them is
Three choose two times. 2 factorial.
Why 3 choose 2? Sorry.
That means there are like 3 people I can choose from, right? And give me a second. What's a case similar to this?
I'm not sure there is, right? So you understand
great.
your homework lah. At this point, I feel like helping you will be bad, right? So a few things that are correct. YanKeen, listen to me. You're treating this as a probability question, which of course contains PNC most of the time, right? Most of the time, probability is not just formula, right? Most of the time it builds upon PNC. So actually, I like it, and the way you draw it feels like it's helpful. So like you're making a lot of progress from in between 1, 2, 3. That's not helpful at all, I suppose. I feel that that's not helpful, but what you're drawing here feels helpful. It really feels helpful, right? So please continue approaching this as a probability question. I feel that I shouldn't help you at least until Sunday. Well, you can calm down and think about this from a probability point of view.
Okay, so if there are 3 people,
yeah,
3 people remaining,
yeah,
and I need to pick. So here, 3 choose 1, 2 choose 1. So it's 3 times 2.
Yeah, there are 6 possibility of the first A and F lah. That's what you mean, right?
6 possibilities. Yeah, 6 possibilities.
Yeah, so I agree with you. Yeah. That's I think helpful. Definitely, I like that kind of thinking. Definitely.
And
helpful.
6 possibilities here as well.
I suppose that makes sense, right? That makes sense. Then.
And this is the same condition. That's
right.
That's
Right.
also 6, and
Right.
this is also 6. So
looking good for me. Yeah, looking good.
so
Looks good
it's
to me.
just 4 times bracket 3 times 2.
Yeah, 4 times 6, yeah, which is 24, yeah.
So 24 over 5 factorial
Yeah,
is 0.2.
there you go.
Oh God.
Unless you're super lucky, I think your thinking is correct.
Yeah.
I think your thinking is correct. Have you now accepted that DRV should probably contain probability lah?
Great. Yes, I have.
Right. Okay. I mean, really, no. Congratulations for drawing stuff and then thinking after drawing. You see my point? You think after you draw, right? You get it. You think before you draw. Stop wasting your time. Do you believe? I was watching the clock. I was watching the clock. When you try to think before you draw, you wasted almost 5 minutes of tuition time, which is, let's just say, is as valuable as an exam time, right?
Yeah.
But when you start to think, when I will say, okay, you're going to stop here, right? You're not going to think anymore intuition. Hey, you go and think after you draw. Believe it or not, you spend 2 minutes. Even though it feels slow, first of all, it doesn't feel painful. It doesn't feel painful at all. And actually, it's quite fast, actually. If you start thinking after you draw, lah, and after I scold you, lah, fair enough. But, it's not that bad, the way you think after you draw. Please do that. You get what I mean? Please do that.
All right.
Right? You are enabling yourself. You are smart that way. You are capable that way, that way. Right? Right. So,
Okay.
I mean, time is up for today, but I think you achieved quite a few things. I like it. Okay. Now, on Sunday, let me give you my expectation. I expect that you'll ask the honest questions from a tutorial. So, tutorial in question must be DRV, right? That's one, right?
Yeah, and position.
Yeah, which is like your chemistry is like you just no need to touch your chemistry now, right? You don't need to. Your
When I
tutorial
get to carboxylic, which is very soon, I might be, but
might. But let's talk about Sunday first. So Sunday, I'm expecting honest questions from DRV. I think that makes sense. And then honest question from the remaining superposition. Is that what I'm saying?
Yeah, should be.
I also expect you. So I expect that you use around 45 minutes for your honest question. That's not a lot. That's not a lot. Okay. So I expect that you prepare the honest question, then we can answer it quickly. I would expect that in the remaining 45 minutes, we will do some quick discussion about the upcoming physics chapter, which is quantum, a little bit,
yep.
And the upcoming chemistry chapter, which is no. That's no. You can handle it. I prefer that we talk about the upcoming math chapter. Also, not a lot of time, right? Yeah. So I expect that you balance things. I expect that you don't do all your tutorial, but you do your tutorial to find your questions. Remember, that's always the case. Yeah. Okay. But not the questions where you're confused, like you never do anything. The question is like, after you draw something, after you think about it, you have questions. Those are really honest questions. So I expect that you do tutorial for that purpose, not to complete everything. And then if you have time, you can read the future chapter. If not, focus on the tutorial is fine. We'll cover the future chapter quickly in our tuition. That's the expectation for Sunday. Understand?
Yeah, okay, got it.
Right. So basically, good job for chemistry lab. Basically, good job. Now, this is, I suppose, the 4th time I say, you have not sent me anything.
Oh, I took a picture of it already.
Right. So I'm going to stop the recording, but you're not going to quit your Zoom. I'm going to watch until you send me everything, right? Okay. Let's just take care of that. Okay. So I'm stopping the recording, but I'm here.